All right, let's dive in. Today, we're heading to the Levant.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, a region that's been like the center of so much history and faith.
Right, for centuries.
We're going to be looking at it through the lens of Islamic prophecies. Specifically, some of Dr. Haytham Talat's ideas about potential end-time battles.
Okay.
Just to be clear up front, we're just exploring these ideas, not saying we believe any of this stuff, you know?
Right, just take it a little.
Yeah. Now, one thing that struck me is that Muslims, Jews, and Christians, they all seem to believe in some kind of major end-time showdown in the Levant.
That is fascinating, yeah. I mean, the Levant is incredibly important to all three faiths, right? We've got the birthplace of major prophets, and so many key events in their holy books all happened right there.
So it's not just about geography, it's like the spiritual significance that ties them all together, right?
Exactly. And it makes these prophecies even more intriguing. I mean, you've got Talat talking about the Prophet Muhammad's dream, right? About a pillar of the book moving to the Levant during, like, serious turmoil.
Right, representing faith, finding refuge there.
Yeah, like, even amidst chaos, this region becomes a source of, I don't know, strength, hope.
It's a beacon in the darkness.
Yeah.
And he connects this to what's happening NW, doesn't he?
He does. He points to Gaza specifically. All the struggles there, the resilience. He sees it as almost like a modern-day reflection of that prophecy.
Almost like Gaza is already living out its destiny.
It's seen as a prelude to the Messianic age, like a final test before the world is purified, and this new era of peace can begin.
Okay, so that idea of a big climactic battle followed by peace and spiritual renewal, that seems to be a recurring theme, huh?
It really is. It's fascinating how these elements weave their way into different faiths' narratives.
Yeah, it's like a common thread. So, speaking of common threads, let's move on to the Christian perspective. We know Christians believe in the second coming of Jesus, but how does that connect to this idea of a decisive battle in the Levant?
Well, for Christians, the second coming is often associated with a period of great tribulation, a lot of suffering and chaos, and then it's followed by this final battle against the forces of evil, this ultimate showdown.
And that's what some people call Armageddon, right?
Exactly.
And I've heard some interpretations actually place that battle in the Levant, specifically in a place called Megiddo.
You're right, Megiddo, which is in modern-day Israel. So it's amazing, isn't it? We have these prophecies from three different faiths, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, all pointing to a major confrontation in the Levant.
It's mind-blowing, a region that's been a battleground for so long, and now it's potentially the stage for this, like, cosmic showdown that determines the fate of humanity.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does the future hold for the Levant? What does it all mean?
Big questions. And it also highlights how, even though these faiths have their differences, they also have these deep similarities, especially when it comes to their beliefs about how history will ultimately play out.
Absolutely. It's like they're tapping into something universal, you know? This deep yearning for justice, peace, and a world transformed.
A world where good conquers evil, suffering ends, and humanity unites. It's a powerful vision.
It is, and I think that's what makes these prophecies so enduring. They offer a message of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always the possibility of renewal and redemption.
So as we wrap up this whole deep dive, what's the key takeaway for our listeners? We've explored these prophecies, the Islamic view, the Jewish view, the Christian view, the common threads, the differences. What do we do with all this?
I think the most important thing to remember is that these prophecies, they're not meant to be literal predictions.
Right, like a timetable.
Exactly. They're more like spiritual guideposts.
Yeah.
Metaphors that encourage us to think about our own lives, our values, and our place in the bigger picture.
So it's less about decoding some secret message about the future and more about using these stories to engage with these, like, bigger questions about ourselves and our world.
Exactly. These prophecies can challenge us to think critically, examine our assumptions, and consider different perspectives.
They push us to grow.
They do. And they can inspire us to live with more purpose, to make choices that align with our values, and to work towards a future that's more just, compassionate, and peaceful.
That's a fantastic note to end on. To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it thought-provoking and maybe even a little bit inspiring. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep searching for those deeper truths that connect us all.